Tasha K made a startling allegation tonight that has fans reeling, leaving social media in complete disarray. Her most recent revelation suggests that Erica may be expecting a child, and the husband of Men's Yandy is the purported father. You heard correctly. Yes, behind Yandy's back, it's the kind of narrative that nobody anticipated, but yet it keeps popping up in conversation. Moments after Tasha released the video, timelines were overflowing with irrational arguments, screenshots, and ideas. It is referred to by fans as the greatest betrayal. Controversy in hip-hop and romantic history. The twist, though, is this. Tasha did more than imply. Declaring that her sources are from deep within the circle, she stated it bluntly. Everything about her delivery, the timing, the tone, the assurance made people pay attention. As of right now, the internet is exploding in an attempt to determine whether this explosive report is true or merely another online mania. What's true? Retaliation. What is it? Furthermore, what is merely amusement? Fans are fixated on their screens, analyzing each post, like, and silence from the actors. And the most pressing concern at the moment is whether this is the final betrayal that might put Yandy and Mendeecees' relationship to permanent ruin. Or is this simply another overblown rumor? Fasten your seatbelt. The entire universe of LHH is about to be rocked by this. With a bang, Tasha K's most recent revelation swept the internet. What she said caught everyone off guard. Nor the cast, nor the fans, and most especially, not Mendeecees and Yandy. Her voice was neither lighthearted nor conjectural. The statement was clear, self-assured, and infused with that distinctive Tasha demeanor that communicates her belief in her own words. She smirked slightly as she started her leaning in close to the camera and saying, "Now listen, I'm not here to play with nobody's marriage, but the streets are talking, and what I'm hearing is wild." She paused to build tension before uttering the line that sent social media into overdrive. If Erica's pregnant, and word is, Mendeecees could be the father. A digital firestorm started with that one sentence. Within minutes, fans swamped comment sections. Some people were furious and referred to it as simply another clout chase. Others vowed to have noticed odd behavior between the two for months. The Love and Hip Hop episodes, old clips reappeared. Moments when Erica and Mendeecees stood too near at gatherings, laughed over jokes, or shared screen time. Suddenly, seemingly innocuous events were being re-examined from a different angle. One fan said on Twitter, "That time Erica laughed too hard at his comment. Now it makes sense." It was chaos. Support and prayers were hurriedly sent to Yandy's page by her fans. An old family photo she shared recently with the caption, "Grateful," became the focus of thousands of comments, partly supporting her, partly encouraging her to view Tasha's video. In a matter of hours, her crew completely disabled comments. She was caught off guard by the news, according to insiders, and hadn't even watched the live show when it began trending. One person claimed that she discovered it when her phone began to buzz constantly. She believed it was a joke at first, but it wasn't. Blogs had already turned the rumor into news by midnight. Tasha K reveals her pregnancy. "I'm expecting Mendeecees' baby, Erica." Yandy's world falls apart once more. Verified entertainment websites began to comment as well. While some demanded evidence, others asserted they had insider knowledge that validated the rumor. Blurred pictures of Erica leaving what seemed to be a clinic, and screenshots of her text exchanges began to circulate. In particular, one picture caught fire. With a hand on her stomach, Erica is wearing an enormous hoodie. Supporters examined the angle, zoomed in, and deemed it proof. Mendeecees, however, fell on his shoulders. No stories, no postings, and no comments. That quiet turned into a tale unto itself. It began to be seen as guilt. He would dispute it if it weren't true. For example, silence is confession, someone said. Others countered that it was likely urged he hold off on speaking until the situation was resolved. However, the silence simply served to heighten the panic. Tasha, meanwhile, doubled down. In the morning, she shared a video from her livestream on Instagram with the statement, "I said what I said." She then shared a picture of a wink face and a baby bottle emoji. Fans erupted. Every comment area turned into a field for inquiry. She wouldn't risk another lawsuit if she didn't have receipts, a person stated. "Not even Tasha has learned her lesson. This has to be untrue." Another person answered. Everyone was watching, whether they trusted her or not. Erica's name was trending in several nations around midday. Her management was contacted by reporters for a statement, but no response was received. One user commented, "She's confirming it," while another remarked, "It was vague." But everyone interpreted it their own way. Instead, she uploaded a single article with the words, "Energy never lies." On a dark background, another person responded, "She's trolling y'all." However, the time was too exact to be disregarded. The rumors swiftly proliferated outside of social media. Celebrity podcasts and talk shows took it up and examined it from all sides. Is this simply another Love and Hip Hop storyline leak for the upcoming season? One host questioned, while another said, "No, this one feels you can't fake that kind of reaction from Yandy." Speculation evolved into narrative, and soon the whole story was written on the internet. During filming, Erica seduced Mendeecees in covert meetings, and their pregnancy completely blew everything apart. Then, nobody anticipated the turn of events. A gossip page received voicemails from an unidentified source who claimed to have heard Erica and a close friend talking on the phone about a situation that might change everything. Despite the scratchy audio, one line was clear. He is afraid that she will discover it before we do. It didn't matter that neither Mendeecees nor Erica were identified in the voices. The fans were persuaded. You can hear the anxiety in her voice. One remark said, "This is too specific to be fake." Another said, the story had made it into mainstream entertainment news by the evening. After Spice tweeted, "This business messy AF," bloggers, experts, and even former cast members started to weigh in. "Women, keep your peace." Carly Red wrote, "Truth always finds a way," after posting a photo of a broken heart emoji on her page. Even Kirk Frost expressed his suspicions by liking a post about the incident and then unliking it a few hours later, when it was claimed that Yandy's best friend, Kendra, unfollowed both Erica and Mendeecees on Instagram. Tensions continued to rise. Screenshots of the unfollows began to circulate with captions such as, "The loyalty switch has begun." When Mendeecees finally made an appearance in public, paparazzi caught him leaving a recording studio in Atlanta. When reporters asked him about the rumor, he simply grinned tightly. That move alone ignited the internet, confirming in many fans' eyes that something genuine was happening behind the scenes. There was no response, and climbed into his vehicle. The video went viral. "Observe his face. He's guilty," someone said. "Now that's a man sick of being stupid." Another countered. The argument continued. As she continued to tease, Tasha remarked in a subsequent video, "Y'all think I'm done? Oh, no, sweetheart. I received voicemails, messages, and even pictures. And believe me when I say that the happy couple's future is not bright." Fans were furious. Thousands of comments were left on her live stream, which brought in record numbers. "Throw away the receipts. Proof is required. Yandy is entitled to know." There was a fire in the chat. The purported proof was not presented by her. "Not yet. Part 2 will be out soon," she said. That was the only thing that caused the internet to go into overdrive. Even those outside the love and hip-hop community were now discussing the subject, which was prominently featured on all major gossip pages. Drama wasn't all there was to it. The investigation was now conducted online. Timelines were crowded with individuals dissecting Erica's posts, comparing her latest and older photographs frame by frame. "Examine her face." One person said, "She's glowing. That glow is a sign of pregnancy." Others said that she was concealing her belly in every new photo, pointing out that she had shifted from body-hugging attire to bulky jumpers. It was outrageous. All of them had suddenly become detectives. Then, a turn of events pushed the internet into a frenzy. A little snippet from an upcoming episode of Love and Hip Hop was purportedly leaked online. Fans instantly connected the 10-second footage to Tasha's admission, even though it showed Erica fighting with a producer off camera and yelling, "You think I don't know what's being said about me?" She's responding to the rumor that she is pregnant. One fan said, "Look how nervous she looks." The tape fueled an already blazing fire, despite the network's lack of confirmation. On the other hand, Mendeecees was not visible on the internet. He didn't like or comment on anything, publish anything, or do anything else. That quiet became the most deafening sound of all. People started tagging Yandy in every blog post in an attempt to get a response. "Blink twice to make sure you're okay, girl," one user added. "Please tell us you're not believing this mess." Until late that evening, when she published a short story that once again went viral online, Yandy remained silent for the majority of the day. White writing on a black background with 5 basic words. "The truth always comes to light." It was that. She didn't give names or an explanation, but everyone understood exactly who she was talking about. It became viral in just a few minutes. Her admirers showered her with supportive remarks, describing her as powerful, elegant, and unconcerned. Others, however, believed that she might already know more than she was admitting because of her composure. Someone wrote, "She's too quiet." By daybreak, there was yet another layer of turmoil. She knows something. According to a well-known blogger, Erica was also in Atlanta, where Mendeecees had been spending more time than normal. In order to match places, the blogger even retrieved previous entries at about the same time, saying, "This ain't coincidence. These two have spent months going around in the same circles." Despite the lack of concrete proof, the internet was ablaze with it. Erica's and Men's were trending on social media within hours. Erica felt the urge to react quickly, mounting. At last, she broke her quiet with a message that was both dramatic and ambiguous. No confirmation, no denial, just confusion. She posted a black and white selfie with the comment, Some stories are meant to stay misunderstood. Her remarks quickly went viral. You're not disputing it, then. Do you mean to say yes with this? Girl, if Tasha is telling lies, you blinked twice. The fact that she didn't respond to any of it just encouraged additional conversation. Behind the scenes, insiders began discussing Yandy's level of shakiness with blogs. According to one close acquaintance, she broke down because she was attempting to keep her cool for the kids. Both of them were trusted by her. Another said she had a disagreement with Mendeecees after confronting him in private. He allegedly disputed everything, asking, "You really think I'd do that to you?" However, the source claimed Yandy didn't appear persuaded. She's experienced too much to disregard her intuition. They said, the tension increased when Safari interrupted the discussion, going live on Instagram while chuckling as followers bombarded his chat with inquiries. You guys think Tasha would be aware of things, but she would also remain messy, he remarked. Everyone went into a tailspin after that one sentence. Is he denying it or confirming it? Safari simply smirked, took a sip of his drink, then ended the live stream after one spectator asked. With the headlines becoming louder and wilder, fan pages began making timelines, including when Erica was last seen in New York, when Mendeecees was filming in Atlanta, and when Tasha allegedly found out. At this point, every gossip page was in overdrive. Erica pregnant with Mendeecees' baby, the biggest betrayal in hip-hop and love to date. Yandy blindsided by her own circle. As the clamor increased, Tasha went live again, this time with thousands of viewers waiting before she even spoke, and began slowly going through papers on her desk. Everyone asking for receipts, she said, "Well, let's just say I got something that'll make y'all stop doubting." There were even old interviews in which Tasha hinted that a major scandal was about to break. After that, she presented a brief video of an unnamed, "If this gets out, it's going to wreck everything." The voice note continued, muffled but emotional. "I'm scared." Tasha didn't identify anyone, but fans were certain it was Erica because of her accent and voice. That's definitely Erica talking about The internet erupted, and fans demanded that Yandy leave Mendeecees, despite the fact that nothing had been confirmed. Some exclaimed, "Once a cheater, always a cheater." Others pleaded with everyone to refrain from making snap judgments, saying, "We don't even know if she's pregnant." One commenter said, "This could all be fake." Even Erica's closest friends' attempts to defend her backfired, with one of them posting, "People believe anything online," demonstrating that reason was powerless against the already roaring tempest. You were only half aware of the true situation. That simply made matters worse. What half? Well, half of that is true. The more ambiguous the posts, the more fans demanded details. As the rumor peaked, Mendeecees' silence began to damage his reputation, and people started criticizing him directly. "You owe your wife a public statement," one follower wrote beneath his previous post. The comments were unrelenting, and it seemed like everyone was profiting from the chaos. "You were quiet the last time, too," another person said. "Accept responsibility." But yet, he didn't respond, no denial, no explanation, and it seemed as though he had entirely disappeared, leaving the rumors to grow. Then, one day, a fan shared a photo that seemed to be of Mendeecees at an Atlanta restaurant. The posting said, "They're in the same place at the same time." "Nah, this ain't coincidence," one user commented. It was the same restaurant where Erica had been tagged days before, and the lighting, background, and even the timestamp matched. Another person said, "He really did it." The picture was immediately reposted by blogs, and the captions became even more dramatic. Mendeecees and Erica were spotted together. Is this the evidence Tasha was referring to? Whether the photo was real or not, it became the visual confirmation fans had been waiting for. And once it was on the internet, there was no going back. Everyone was now curious about Yandy's response. Would she remain silent, or would she finally come clean and tell the truth? Whatever happened, it was obvious that this story had become too big to ignore. And the question was not whether Tasha's rumor was true anymore, but rather how much damage would be done once the dust settled. The storm only got worse in the days that followed, with the same headline appearing on every blog, podcast, and entertainment page in slightly different words. People were glued to Tasha K's shocking revelation, staying up late, scrolling through clips, screenshots, and alleged insider leaks. It was no longer just rumors. It was a developing story that fans couldn't ignore. And the worst part was that nobody was speaking, not openly, not clearly, and not enough to stop the both Yandy and Mendeecees families had been drawn into the pandemonium by this point. And one of Mendeecees' cousins went live on Instagram, clearly angry, to stop the rumor from becoming its own reality. "Y'all need to stop spreading lies," he stated, adding that Tasha was simply pursuing clicks as usual and that no one was pregnant. Fans accused him of covering up for his cousin, but his remarks just sparked more conflict rather than cooling things down. One commenter added, "Of course, the family's going to deny it. That's precisely what they said the last time there was a controversy." A few hours later, Tasha struck again, posting something cryptic that stated, "The first stage is denial. Later is acceptance." A wine glass and a baby emoji were sent. and the conversation was immediately rekindled. A voice message purportedly from someone close to production started making the rounds online, with a woman heard saying, "They told us to stay quiet till it airs." People couldn't help but wonder if she was bluffing or if she was sitting on something explosive after blogs reposted it with captions like, "Tasha doubles down, and is she hinting at new receipts? That is why no one is disputing it. At new receipts. That is why no one is disputing it. They're saving it for the show." The idea that this whole scandal might be part of a hidden storyline sent the fandom into another frenzy. So, is it real or scripted? They're playing with our emotions. The voice wasn't recognizable, but fans insist it was a Love and Hip Hop crew member, which explains the silence. No one knew what to trust anymore. Meanwhile, Erica made a comeback on social media, appearing composed, perhaps to compose, smiling, sipping a smoothie, and declaring, "You believe anything you see on the internet." Her live stream lasted about 2 minutes. Energy is more powerful than words. She didn't confirm or deny anything. So is it true? Blink if it's meant. The remarks were sent out more quickly than the live stream could manage. Sierra wrote, "The worst betrayal always comes from the one you least expect." Yandy's silence continued to speak volumes, and her friends and castmates began posting indirect messages that seemed to echo her feelings. Sis simply avoided every question, and before anyone could press further, she abruptly ended the live stream, leaving fans more confused than ever. "Some lessons hurt, but they free you," was a quote that Bambi reposted. And Kendra, who had already unfollowed both Erica and Mendeecees, shared a video of herself praying, captioned, "Protecting my calm." The internet put everything together like a detective puzzle, believing that these messages were about the scandal. Then, a shocking turn of events occurred. A fuzzy ultrasound picture started making the rounds online. According to a gossip account, it originated from an anonymous email with the subject line, "You didn't hear this from me." The image displayed an ultrasound with only a date and no name visible, and that date coincided exactly with the time that Tasha claimed the pregnancy started. Despite the lack of any proof that it belonged to Erica, people went crazy. "This is it," someone wrote. "Tasha wasn't lying." "You can't fake ultrasound dates, y'all," said another. Tasha quickly fueled the flames. "They said I was lying, but she teased. And it's interesting how the receipts usually appear just when I finish talking." She went live again, this time sipping wine and smiling confidently. She didn't name anyone, but everyone knew who she was referring to. "Drop the proof. We believe you now. Show the ultrasound." She didn't, at least not yet. But she said there would be one last exclusive shortly. As all of this was going on, the Love and Hip Hop producers were reportedly in a panic. According to insiders, they held urgent meetings to discuss how to deal with the fallout. One anonymous source told a blog that they were conflicted about whether to confirm the rumor or spin it as a rumor. But the truth is that this is much bigger than the show now and is beyond their control. Another source implied that Yandy would not film any scenes until she received clarification from her husband. They said she was demanding answers, that she's leaving the cameras if she doesn't get them soon. Mendeecees finally spoke up, but not in the way that fans had anticipated. He shared a photo of himself sitting on a bench and looking out at the skyline, captioning it, "You can't argue with lies when people want them to be true." Some interpreted it as a denial, while others saw it as an indirect confession. It sounded defensive but was still ambiguous. His article received thousands of comments in a matter of minutes, and all of the main blogs reposted it with titles such as "Mendeecees finally responds." He didn't even claim it was fake. Someone commented, "Which is how you know it's true. This whole thing got out of control," said one of Erica's close friends, who went live in tears as the tension increased. As soon as she said, "They're making it worse than it really is," fans began to speculate as to what she meant. In the meantime, Yandy was reported to have been seen leaving a studio in New York with a friend, looking serious but composed. One person who saw her said she appeared emotionally spent but focused, while another said she was overheard saying, "If he did this, I'll handle it my way." The internet analyzed every word she said, including whether she was confirming the pregnancy or denying Mendeecees was the father. Those words quickly got out. Yandy is prepared to confront Mendeecees over Tasha K's Bombshell, according to the next big headline. The next night, Tasha released a teaser for her next live stream, "The Baby, the Husband, and the Lies, Part 2, which sent fans into a frenzy. The thumbnail featured a blurred-out image of Erica next to what appeared to be Mendeecees' silhouette. Following the preparation of reaction videos on Twitter and fan pages, over 100,000 people watched Tasha's live stream. She began slowly, sipping her drink, allowing the tension to build. "I told y'all this wasn't over," she said, adding, "And I don't talk unless I have receipts." She then took out her phone and played another voice note. This time, the voice of the comments burst immediately. "That's her. We knew it. It's over for Mendeecees." Tasha smiled, leaned back in her chair, and added, "That's all I'm showing for now. I didn't mean for this to happen, but it's too late now," she said. "Let them dispute it. Everyone was stunned when the live stream ended abruptly, and within minutes, there were clips all over the place. People argued over whether it was edited, whether it was real, or whether Tasha had once again stepped over the line between journalism and chaos. But one thing was clear: the internet had already made up its mind, and the story was no longer a rumor in the eyes of fans. It was real, and now everyone was waiting for the fallout Yandy statement, Mendeecees' response, and whatever else happened in what had turned into one of the most outrageous scandals in hip-hop and love history. The morning following Tasha's Part 2 livestream, the internet seemed to have frozen in shock, with the same clip flooding every social media feed, Erica's purported voice saying, "I didn't mean for this to happen, but it's too late now." Every blog, gossip page, and fan reaction video had it. Thousands of comments were left every minute, analyzing her tone, words, and pauses. Some people slowed down the audio to examine her breathing, while others claimed to have heard Mendeecees' name in the background. In a matter of hours, it became one of the most talked about leaks in the history of hip-hop and love. Yandy hadn't said anything yet, but fans sensed that the silence was growing heavier by the minute. So her supporters created a hashtag, praying for Yandy, and flooded her old posts with heartfelt messages and support. Others called for answers, saying, "Sis, if this is real, we got your back. We need you to speak." Every moment she remained silent only served to heighten the gravity of the situation. And when she did appear on her story that night, she remained silent. She just shared a video of herself writing in a notepad and lighting a candle, captioning it, "Truth and Peace." There were no names or explanations, but it was enough to stop people from reading for a while. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' camp was in a panic, with insiders claiming he had been phoning management teams and attorneys in an attempt to avert the story. One person close to him revealed he's angry, reads a blog. It seems to him that everything was planned to ruin him. But even with that frustration, he still hadn't directly denied the pregnancy rumor. When the paparazzi caught up with him outside an event, he shook his head and said only, "You'll see the truth shortly." It is not a denial that fans weren't happy. One commenter asked, "Why does he always use riddles when he speaks? My blessings are bigger than the noise," Erica wrote as she shared a photo of herself holding her son's hand, illustrating how quickly her circumstances were becoming out of control.